In a previous video, we simply call process method from inside of the email class, which we'll create soon. But we don't really check if this method has been successfully executed and actually return true. So perhaps we should do what we should do is just check if pro-object email process is true, basically, then we're going to return true. Otherwise, we're going to return false. So we return true if it was successful, otherwise return false. So this way we know for sure that the email has been sent, basically. Obviously, if you don't want to send activation email, you can change this and completely remove this part of the code. And after insert has been done, simply type in return true, and the rest of the code can go. Now, another thing which you would have to do if you want this to be automatically active, if the user has registered and obviously you want this account to be active automatically, you would also have to change the active default value from 0. If you go to edit, the default value at the moment is 0, which means it's inactive, to 1, and obviously save the table. In this case, every single registration would be automatically activated and users would be able to log in straight away. But anyway, we want to send the activation email. First of all, however, we have to create our insert method inside of our dbase class. So if we go back to our dbase class and after prepare insert, if we create a few new lines again and start with public function insert, we take in one parameter, which is table, by default null. And the first thing obviously we're going to be checking is if is an empty table and is an empty this insert keys and is an empty this insert values, then we're going to execute our statement. So, but we can put it so that we can actually see it a little bit better on 3 different lines. So if we could, do it like this. So if all these 3 have values, and they will have obviously if the array wasn't empty, because if we go back to our user class, you can see first we prepare insert T letter at the end, I've forgotten, just to make sure that they match together. Okay, and obviously we're passing this array, and this array, then we create a loop on that array, and we are assigning the keys to insert keys and values to insert values. So obviously these values and keys already are stored within these 2 arrays. Then we right after this we call insert. So our dbase class has access to both of these arrays straight away. So if they were empty, then obviously this statement won't be executed. Okay, so now we create our SQL statement. We start with insert into, and we pass table name, which is basically passed to this method through the parameter. Then we open a bracket and we start with this / looking quote. Okay, then we continue SQL and we dot equal because we concatenating it. We add into the statement, in other words. So we have implode method, implode PHP function. We start with a double quote, then a / quote, as I call it. Then we have another one, comma, another one, double quote, comma, this underscore insert keys. And what implode function does, as I've already explained, it basically joins all of the values from the array and basically joins them using this specific concatenator. Okay, now we go further. We have SQL.equal, and we closing our bracket. Then we have values, opening another bracket, this time a single quote, and then we go further with SQL.equals implode, and this time we're going to be using single quote, comma, single quote, and then we obviously close a double quote. And this time we pass in this. And we want insert values this time. And then we have SQL dot equals single quote, and we close in the bracket. After this, semicolon. Now we do if statement, this query SQL. If the SQL query has been executed successfully, then this underscore ID equals this last ID, so the ID of the lastly inserted record to the database, and return true. Otherwise, we return false. Okay, and that's our insert method. So we can now go back to our user class. And the next thing we're going to be doing is we'll create our email class. And that's in the next video.